two-time Super Bowl champ, three-time Pro Bowler. It is safety Malcolm Jenkins. I'm Erin Summers. Malcolm, you're out here taking in some training camp practice. What are some of the things you look for when you're here at practice?
Yeah, I look to see like the competitiveness. These are opportunities where, obviously the days are long. You're playing against each other over and over again, but I want to see the consistency and leadership and competitive juices to see if guys are, carrying that day to day, because you're going to need to carry that throughout the season. I thought today was a great day to come out. I think yesterday coach challenged them, said they were a little flat and had a lot more energy toward the end of this practice. So definitely encouraging.
Somebody that's continued to bring the energy as his career continues is safety Tyron Matthew. What is it about his game that makes him so effective with as many years as he's played?
Yeah, I think he's savvy. I think his ability to, one, understand the game, study the game, it's important to him, and it tells. He's always been a natural playmaker, but I think, his next step in elevating his game is really being able to bring people with him and make those around him better. He's not the biggest vocal guy, but when he speaks, everybody listens, and he leads by example. And I think, he's a great leader in that secondary, and this team's definitely going to need him, down the stretch.
How important is it to have a vocal guy in the backfield, in the secondary?
Yeah, a huge part of, secondary play is communication. So somebody's got to be able to speak and really take command, on the field. And that's really everybody, but every now and then you need vocal leaders that can kind of shake and shock the group into action, that can be the energy when there is a lull. And that might vary. It might be one guy this day, it might be DeMario the next. The more you have, the better off you are.
You played a while with head coach Dennis Allen. How have you seen him grow in his leadership as a head coach?
Yeah, I've seen Dennis. He was my DB coach when I first got here as a rookie. Now and seeing him mature throughout the league and as a head coach even. I think he's, at this point in time, really doing a great job of empowering his players to take over and take ownership of some of the things they do. And I think that is, the next step to really developing culture and really getting back to or establishing what we've been used to or wanting to get back to around here. And that comes from the top down. That's allowing players to be invested. That gives them more input, but also gives them more accountability, right? They get to have input for it, so they are directly responsible for the results. And I think that creates a collaborative effort that is strong.
How have you seen this team come together? Culture was a big word that came up at the end of last year.
Yeah, I think there's been a huge emphasis on it this year. I've stopped in the offseason, and culture and team building was a big part of the messaging, starting with leadership. And I've seen, guys talking to Marshawn Lattimore, talking to Tyron Matthews and DeMario Davis's. They understand that team building is a big part of it, camaraderie, and that has nothing to do with X's and O's. That's about, spending time on task with one another, spending time outside of the coaches, a lot of meetings with each other, and getting back to that, is important. And I've seen that since I've been here.
You're somebody that changed positions early on in your career, from cornerback to safety. And looking at somebody like Elante Taylor, who's moved from outside to nickel, how difficult is that to accept?
Yeah, I had a good conversation with him about that thing. Just, I was in the same situation, drafted as a corner, wanted to be known as a corner. But what I've learned is the more versatile you are, the more positions you can play, the more valuable you are to the team. You're the guy that can fix all of the problems when somebody goes down, because there will be injuries. We know that about this game. And I think, even from the spring seeing him, and even now in training camp, his demeanor and his attention, his intentions have been completely night and day, to be honest. He's embracing the role. He's learning. He's asking questions. He's paying attention. He's being vocal. He's bringing the energy. And I think that's what you want to see. That, that stuff can be a bit of a transition when you want your career or your position to be a certain way. But I think he's embracing the team first mentality, understanding that if he handles his job, the rest, the business and his career would take care of itself.
A lot to look forward to this season. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. Appreciate it. We'll be back with more right here on the Saints Training Camp Report.